Hi students, my name is Vivek. I am lecturer in biology. In yesterday topic we have discussed about what is meant by ecology, and today we are going to discuss through what are organisms and what is involved in the populations. Okay, today we are going to discuss about organisms and populations. Okay. In the introduction class we have learned how this temperature as well as vegetational variation can be seen on earth. Okay, ultimately the seasonal variations are due to the rotation of earth around the sun and also due to the rotation of earth on its own axis. Okay, these enables the seasonal variation in the earth. As well as we have discussed the four major biological organization in ecology. Okay, these are organismic level, population level, community level, and last one is the biomes. Okay, in biomes, specifically in India, we can find the tropical rainforest. Okay, biomes include tropical rainforest. Okay, in India we can see biomes such as the tropical rainforest where the more amount of rain falls in here, as well as more trees are growing in these regions. Okay, as well as deciduous forest. Okay, in the deciduous forest you can find a few plants which often due to the climatic variation it shows such changes. Okay, and next we are going to see the major biomes in is deserts. Okay, in deserts you can find very little amount of rain. Okay, you can find less than 25 centimeters of rain, particularly in the deserts. Okay, and next the major biome what we see is the coasts. Okay, just near the oceans we can find the coast. Okay, these are the four major biomes which are present in the India. Okay, next we will discuss about what are the abiotic factors which are affecting the organisms. Okay, now as you know the organisms are being affected due to temperature, due to light, as well as some climatic variations such as sunlight as well as the soil factors will affect the organisms. Okay, due to the temperature variations the birds which are present in the Siberia has migrated to Rajasthan. Okay, Keoladeo National Park where we can find the Siberian birds which have migrated and due to the temperature variations. Similarly, due to certain variations in the climate as well as temperature, even bacteria also adapted themselves by producing the spores. Okay, bacteria adapted. Okay, bacteria have adapted by producing the spores. Okay, these spores will only germinate during favorable conditions. Okay, whenever the favorable conditions are available, the spores will germinate and bacteria multiply its growth. And similarly, in angiospermic plants, the seeds are produced. Okay, these seeds will be in the dormant condition. Okay, whenever the favorable conditions are available, then automatically the seeds will germinate. Okay, after the germination they will grow into tree and again they will form the seeds. Okay, and when the seeds in higher plants we can also find the dormancy in this condition. Okay, suppose in winter in polar regions some trees are present. Okay, when there is more amount of snow, automatically this will shed their leaves. Okay, by shedding their leaves the trees will be in the dormant condition. Okay, even in the polar region we can find the bears. Okay, they are undergoing a hibernation. Okay, because during that time the temperature will be in the minus degrees. To make the body heat, they automatically go under hibernation. Okay, along with this we can also find some bacteria as well as in some ponds we can find some zooplanktons. Okay, we can find zooplanktons. Okay, these zooplanktons will remain in dormant condition when the temperature is high. Okay, whenever the means not only due to the temperature rise, even when unfavorable conditions are there means they go to the dormancy. Okay, that condition is known as diapause. Okay, when these zooplanktons undergo diapause means when unfavorable conditions are present, these zooplanktons will undergo diapause, in which they will be in the suspended manner. Okay, suppose there is a pond, consider this is a pond. Okay, due to more sunlight, okay, due to more sunlight, these zooplanktons will want means whenever the sunlight is present, these zooplanktons come to the onto the top of the water surface. But when unfavorable conditions such as in the winter, okay, when winter season comes, these zooplanktons, okay, will come to the suspended stage, means they come to the lower sides. Okay, they will be in the suspended form. Whenever the condition is favorable, they will increase. Okay, I think it is not visible to you. Okay, whenever the favorable condition is available, it will be in the growing condition. Whenever unfavorable condition comes means they will be in the suspended manner. Okay, zooplanktons are a small animal like structures which are present in the water. Okay, very confined to the small water bodies only. Okay, so due to the different climatic conditions, organisms have adapted to grow in various types of conditions. Okay, this is what we are going to observe. Now let's see what is adaptation. Okay, adaptation is an attribute of an organism, okay, that will enable the organism to reproduce, okay, and sustain in its habitat. Okay, now let's see what are the factors, okay, included in the adaptation. Okay, adaptation is an attribute that enable the organisms to produce more number of species. Okay, that will enable the organisms to produce more number of species. Okay, what are the main adaptations included means the major one is behavior. Okay, behavior is the major which is involved in the organisms, as well as the physiological is also included in the adaptation. Okay, behavior, physiological, as well as morphological. Okay, behavior, physiological, morphological. These are the three main adaptations included. Okay, these are considered as attributes to any organisms. With this, the organisms can develop and they can multiply their number. Okay, so during the evolution, okay, the natural selection has taken place and all the organisms have genetically fixed themselves. Okay, after this what happens means the evolution, natural selection has taken place and enable the organisms to genetically fix. Okay, genetically we allowed the organisms to fix. So these genetically fixed organisms can tolerate and make their own proteins whenever the conditions are favorable. If they are unfavorable means they adapt to that conditions. Okay, these are the major factors which are influenced in the means these are considered as attributes in adaptations. Okay, now let's see natural examples which are included in the adaptations. Okay, as you know, the kangaroo rat which is in the North America. Okay, kangaroo rat is one of the organism. Kangaroo rat. Okay, it is one of the rat which is specifically living in the North America. Okay, these rats have adapted a special biochemical reactions in it. Okay, these kangaroo rats have developed a special biochemical reactions within its body. Means how it has tolerated the heat conditions means by converting the fat which is present in the rat is converted to water. Okay, what you have to understand here means the kangaroo rat is having fats. Okay, during unfavorable condition the fats which are present in the rat body are oxidized. Okay, the fats which are present in the rat are oxidized. Due to oxidation the fats are converted into water molecule. Okay, these fats are converted into water molecules. So ultimately even there is very less amount of water is available also, these rats can easily make their own lives. Why? Because they have, at least they have the fats. These fats are oxidized and they are converted into water. So now rat got water. Okay, now the rat has got water. In the absence of water also few organisms have started adapting by various biochemical reactions. These are known as biochemical reactions. This will ultimately make the kangaroo rat to sustain in high temperatures also. Okay, next we can also find some plants. Okay, even desert plants. Okay, even desert plants have adapted methods to tolerate the heat. Okay, as you know there are photosynthetic pathways, especially the CAM pathway. Okay, especially the CAM pathway which is known as cressulation acid metabolism. CAM means cressulation acid metabolism. It is one of the metabolism in desert plants, where these plants closes their stomata during daytime. Especially during the daytime the desert plants close their stomata to avoid water escaping from the plant body. Okay, and one more thing you can observe, a best example is Opuntia. Okay, Opuntia is a desert plants. Okay, if you see a Opuntia plant, you can't find leaves in this plant. Why? Because the leaves are completely modified into spines. Okay, if you see the Opuntia plant is having the stem. Okay, in primitive there might be leaves, but those leaves are modified into spines. Okay, this is the adaptations which we can see in the desert plants. Okay, I hope you are understanding. Okay, a kangaroo rat has adapted to heat conditions by converting fats into water by biochemical reaction known as oxidation. Even desert plants are also habituated to high temperatures by different photosynthetic pathways, and even closing the stomata in the daytime and allowing them to open during night time. Whereas the Opuntia plant, which is commonly known as cactus, these plants have lost their leaves and they have modified their leaves into spines. So ultimately this plant get protection from animals as well as it will reduce the rate of transpiration. Okay, these are the adaptations which we can see in plants. Okay, next a Allen's rule is seen especially for the mammals. Okay, Allen's rule is one of the rules which is especially given for the animals, that was mammals. Okay, Allen's rule. Okay, when it comes to the Allen's rule, okay, in Allen's rule what we can find means, generally the mammals which are present in the polar regions. Okay, as you know, in tropical region the temperatures are high. When you go to the temperate region, the temperature decreases. When you go to the polar regions, the temperature reaches in -degrees. So ultimately, to avoid heat from the body, the animals have modified their ears to very small. Okay, as you know, the mammals contain ears. In Allen's rule, what we get explanation means the mammals have reduced ears and reduced limbs. So the heat which is present in the body will not escape from the body due to the presence of short ear. Okay, due to the presence of short ear and limbs. Okay, these make temperature, means it will not allow temperature to escape from the body. Okay, even the aquatic animals which are present in the polar regions are also having a fat deposition just below the skin. Okay, these fats are known as blubbers. Okay, we call it as blubbers. Okay, these fats are especially present in the aquatic animals. Okay, these aquatic animals which are present in the polar regions have very less temperature, means we can see in negative value. So to make the body to habituate to that very cold temperatures, the organisms which are present in the water have developed the fats. Okay, these fats which are very thick layer, they are present below the skin, and these are termed as blubbers. Okay, these blubbers act as insulator. Okay, they just act as insulator during very cold conditions. Okay, I hope you have understood this idea. Okay, when the temperature are more, the organisms have converted their fats into water by oxidation method. When the temperature is cold also, the organisms are utilizing these fats and they are converted to insulate them. Okay, I hope you have got the interaction between how the heat temperature enable the fat to convert into water, how cold, even in the cold temperatures also fats have utilized for the various insulation, means it acts like giving some warm nature to the organisms, especially aquatic organisms only. Okay, now we will move on to the altitudes. Okay, these things what we have seen means till now, when temperature is more, how the organisms adapted, and when temperature is less, how organisms are adapted. Now we are moving on to the heights, that is altitude. Okay, we call it as altitude. Okay, when any organism, okay, you might have gone to Manila, Manas Sarovar. Okay, if you go there, you may feel happy. At the same time, you will also get altitude sickness. Okay, altitude sickness is one of the symptom when you reach to higher altitudes. When you grow higher altitudes, the atmospheric pressure decreases. Okay, when you are in the sea level means the atmospheric pressure is 0. When you go beyond some altitudes, the atmospheric pressure will be decreased. Due to the decrease in the atmospheric pressure, ultimately you feel the altitude sickness. Okay, these altitude sickness, okay, form nausea, means you may get vomitings, continuous vomitings if you climb high mountains. Why? Because there is no pressure. Okay, very less pressure is present. So at that time you may feel nausea. Even heart palpitation, your heartbeat might be changes, it may get fluctuations. Even you may feel sick. Okay, we term it as fatigue. Okay, these are the symptoms when you go beyond the altitudes. Even that conditions are also habituated by the mammals. Okay, next when you come to the deep in the oceans, especially in the spring. Okay, spring. Okay, thermal springs. Okay, the thermal springs which are present in the oceans, where the temperature goes more than 100 degrees. Okay, even such harsh conditions are also organisms are habituated. Okay, even a deep hydrothermal vents. Okay, even in the deep sea hydrothermal vents. You can find the aquatic organisms, okay, such as archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. Okay, these archaebacteria have adapted to grow in thermal springs, deep sea hydrothermal vents. Here the temperature is very high, okay, due to the presence of volcanic pressures. Okay, there ultimately even in such harsh conditions are also few bacteria are growing means. Why? Because they have adapted. Okay, they have created a special membrane and they have created a special cell wall that will enable the organisms to survive even at high temperatures also. Okay, this is the nature of archaebacteria. Okay, next if you go further, such as if you go for desert region, okay, even the desert lizards lack the physiological metabolism. Okay, in deserts the animals which are present lacks the physiological metabolism to beat the heat, to even though in that condition the desert lizards are hiding under the sand. Okay, in Discovery channels you might have seen in desert region the lizards are hidden in the sand. Okay, whenever the temperature decreases or sunlight decreases, then automatically the lizards come out from the sand. So ultimately what here means, the desert lizards lack the physiological metabolism in it, but they have adapted to hide their bodies under sand to avoid heat. Even burrowing animals, okay, even some animals which burrow under the soil, okay, why they do burrows means to avoid the heat, okay, the heat which is generated in the daytimes. To avoid that heat, especially these organisms make burrows into the soil. From the soil, whenever the climate is cold, these animals come out of the burrows. So ultimately these are the various types of adaptations which we can see in the organisms. Okay, now let's move on to the population. Okay, now we are moving on to the population. What is mean by population? Okay, I hope you have understood the organisms adaptations. Okay, how organisms have adapted to various kind of conditions. Even a bacteria can sustain certain harsh conditions. Okay, ultimately adaptation is an attribute to an organisms. Okay, now when it comes to the populations, okay, now we are going on to the populations. Okay, populations means you rarely find a isolated single individual in a habitat. Okay, we rarely find isolated single individual in a habitat. Okay, we majorly find group of animals which are living together in a particular geographical area. Okay, we can find group of animals living together at a particular geographical location. Okay, and these organisms, okay, feed on specific food and selective in nature. Okay, these populations are doing interbreed. Okay, specifically these populations undergo interbreed even after asexual reproduction. Okay, even some organisms are adapted to make asexual reproduction. These organisms are also considered as populations. Why? Because during studies of population ecology, they have considered even the organisms after undergoing asexual reproduction, these are considered as populations. Okay, and one more thing is very important, that is populations. Okay, the size of population is nothing but in a habitat is considered as population density. Okay, and even the population is also considered as bridge between evolution and population ecology. Okay, population is considered as bridge between evolution. Okay, population is considered as bridge between evolution and population. ecology. Okay, this is what you are going to see in the population. Okay, populations we rarely find isolated single individuals. We majorly find group of organisms living in a particular geographical area. Okay, this is the nature of a population. Okay, especially the genetical variations are fixed naturally during the population level. Okay, especially some of the genetical variations are naturally fixed due to natural selection. We can observe especially in the populations only. Okay, now let's see how to count the number of deaths. Okay, before counting the number of deaths, let's take the census of a tiger. Okay, as you know, India is having many tiger reserves. Okay, even some national parks are having tigers. Okay, so in a forest, what department does means they take the, okay, if they want to count how many tigers are present in a reserve, they will count the pug. Okay, we call it as pug marks. Okay, the pug marks which are in this form. Okay, by counting the pug marks, we can say how many tigers, means we can't predict it, means by counting the pug marks we can say the tiger census, means how many tigers are present in this locality or area. Okay, and even by counting the fecal pellets, we can count the how many tigers are present especially in a particular forest. Okay, to find how many tigers are present in a particular forest, what researchers does means they count the pug marks. Okay, by counting the pug marks we can easily denote how many tigers are present in a particular reserve or forest. Along with this, we also find the fecal pellets. Okay, by collecting the fecal pellets we can trace how many tigers are present and what are their habits. Okay, and after this if you want to count the how many tigers are means to count the death rate per capita. Okay, now we can count the birth as well as death rate of a tigers. Okay, to especially to count the death rate per capita, what you have to do means you have to take how many tigers are dead during year. Okay, especially for the specific year you have to take how many tigers are dead. Let's consider 3 tigers are dead in 1 year. Okay, we have found that the 3 tigers have been dead found in a forest, particularly in 1 year, and they have found that there are about 15 tigers still living in that forest, particularly in that year only. So we have found that in the same year 15 tigers were there and 3 tigers were dead. Okay, actually total number of tigers are 18. Okay, we call it as 18 is the total number of tigers present in that forest. Dead how many means 3. Right now how many we are finding means 18. So ultimately to find the death rate per capita, what we have to do means we have to divide dead organisms, that is tiger, and we have to divide with total. Okay, when we do this we get the value around 0.166. Okay, so ultimately it is not visible clearly. Okay, then you are going to get the value, that is 0.166. Okay, this is the death rate per capita of a particular forest. Okay, what you have to do means number of dead organisms and total number of organisms. Okay, by dividing this what you are going to get means the number of death rate per capita. Okay, and one more thing you have to know that the organisms give birth. Okay, in a population, when it comes to population, the organisms give birth. Okay, the act of giving birth is known as natality. Okay, we call it as natality. Okay, let me erase this. Okay, natality, and contrast to the natality is mortality. Okay, contrast to the natality is mortality. Okay, as you know, if an organism is giving birth means we call it as natality. Okay, natality means the organism giving birth in a particular period is known as natality. Okay, total number of organisms in a given particular time period, okay, is known as natality. Contrast to this is mortality. Okay, mortality means number of organisms. Okay, mortality. Okay, natality means number of births, mortality means number of deaths in a particular time period. Okay, we can indicate in negative. Mortality means deaths, no, we can denote it as negative value. Natality means giving birth, let's denote it in positive value. Okay, similarly a group of organisms, okay, especially certain species will go outside, means they go outside of the population. Okay, especially a group of species which is in the habitat will go out of the population, then that is denoted as emigration. Okay, we call it as emigration. Emigration means total number of species. Okay, total number of species which are present in a habitat will go out of the group. So emigration means the population decreases because they comes out of the population, so we denote it in negative. Okay, whereas when it comes to the immigration, okay, we denote in positive. Why? Because immigration, okay, immigration means specifically a single species comes into a new habitat. Okay, a single species comes into a new habitat, then that is considered as emigration. Means a new habitat, new species together increases the population density. So that's why we denote it in positive value. Okay, natality means number of births, mortality means quite contrast to natality, that is number of deaths. Okay, emigration means the group of species which comes out of a organism, means it comes out of a specific group. Immigration means a single species comes into a new habitat, this is known as immigration. Okay, let me show this in a simple flow chart. Okay, now you got the idea about what is meant by natality, mortality and emigration. Okay, suppose this is the population density, this is the population density which is denoted in capital N. Okay, we are going to denote it with a capital N. Now to a population, okay, a group of species coming, okay, to this population, a new group of species coming into here. Okay, this is considered as immigration. Okay, we call it as immigration. Okay, let me make it some. Okay, immigration. Okay, now this is considered in positive values. Okay, now natality means giving population. Okay, natality, okay, giving births in a particular time, natality. Okay, here also we consider in positive value. Okay, and quite opposite to the immigration is emigration. Okay, emigration means coming out, isn't it? Emigration. Okay, in emigration total number of okay, a group of populations especially a group of species comes out of a particular population, that is known as emigration. We denote in negative value. Okay, keep this in mind. Immigration, coming into the population. Natality means giving births during particular period. Emigration means a group of species coming out of the population. Next, natality contrast is mortality. Okay, natality means giving birth. Mortality means deaths. Okay, mortality means deaths. Okay, number of deaths during particular time period. Okay, this is the overview of population density. Okay, it is denoted by a simple formula, that is n is the population density, right? And during the time t, okay, especially in one time, how we have to count means number of population at particular time, okay, is taken, okay, by births plus immigration minus death plus emigration. This will give the population density value. Okay, this you have to remember. In many multiple choice questions we can find this equation. Okay, number of okay, n is the population density, t is the time of a particular time period. Okay, we denote it as nt plus births plus immigration. Here you can see, okay, births plus immigration. Okay, next here mortality means deaths, e means emigration. Okay, this is the equation of a population density. Okay, I hope you got a brief idea about what is mean by organisms and what is mean by populations. Okay, we will continue this topic in the next coming chapter.